Well, I think it's been nice to have all our weapons this past week on an offensive standpoint. Everybody getting back healthy. Defensive guys on the defense side, same deal. Getting some guys back into the mix, having OC, and they're playing good football. On the defensive side, offensively, we're doing some really good things, and we got to build off that and make sure we're not making mistakes, not turning the ball over. No penalties last week. So there's some good things. We got to make sure we keep that mindset, keep that focus that we've had the last few weeks, and make sure we're very well prepared to go into this game and then go out there and play our best football.
Eli, was there a sense you guys turned the corner at a certain point?
It's tough. I mean, no, I think it's just believing in ourselves. It's not like versus the Jets offensively, we didn't have our best performance. We made some plays when we had to and some big plays. I think that's always we always have that capability to hit the big plays. Now it's kind of just being consistent, making those third down, third and shorts, those intermediate plays that become big, that keep drives going. So I think we did a pretty good job at that. So it's just a matter of being well prepared and go out there and just playing hard and finding ways to win.
Eli, your butts are out on the field during the game, especially during the fourth quarter. Can you describe what it's like during the fourth quarter? The game is close, so you guys are trying to come from behind, and how that's just different than any other part of the game. What is it like for you?
I think guys just know that it's crunch time in a situation. I think that's what happened last week. We didn't do a whole lot in the third quarter, let some opportunities slip away. But when we were the Dallas had cut the lead to 7 points. We had a big third down. We knew that that was a big play. Dallas had a lot of the momentum. At that point, we had to get a drive. We had to get some points, and in the fourth quarter, we raised our level plays. Victor Cruz had a huge play. Akeem had some runs. So I think when we needed something to happen, when it was crunch time, when we needed to play, guys are stepping up and making big plays. Nothing different. It's not a I think you go through the same thought process. You're just trying to make good decisions, trying to get the guy who's open the ball. So nothing changes from that aspect. You're just sometimes it's guys, offensive line, everybody doing their job a little bit better, and it makes my job easier.
What characterized their defense? Are they more of a physical defense, speed defense, finesse defense? What would be their biggest strength, just in general?
I think they're a very good defense. I think they're very well coached. I think they are very fast. They run very well. They have good players, and they don't make mistakes. Everybody's going to be lined up. Everybody is going to be in the right technique, and it's just a matter of execution, I think, with these guys. It's a matter of guys, offensive line blocking up. They have some good pass rushers. They do a good job getting interceptions and getting turnovers, and so it's just a matter of everybody knowing their assignment and going out there and doing it better than Atlanta.
What is the chemistry you have with Victor Cruz? No offseason, so to speak. How are you guys able to develop this?
It's a great credit to Victor. He's worked extremely hard. Learning this offense, we did get together a good bit this off season. Just throwing, talking over things, and during the season, just continuing to grow, to learn, to talk during training camp about different coverages during the week. Just talking together, just making sure we're both on the same page with how we're going to read things, and he's done a good job just getting open. Having an understanding of getting open in the zone, beating man coverage, all those things, and he's done a great job making plays on some short throws, making guys miss, and doing a lot of that work on his own.
The weather's kind of messy this Sunday. The weather forecast is kind of messy. Do you pay attention to that sort of stuff?
No, you just not really. You just you just try to get prepared mentally for the opponent, know your game plan, and then whatever happens with the weather, there's not much you can do about it. You just got to go out there and play.
Tom Coughlin said earlier on that front there, he said it amazes him, I think is the word that he used, that you're able to play so well in bad weather. Is that something you feel like maybe you don't get enough credit for?
No, I've never really thought about it. You just try to go out there and play the game. It's not. You don't think about it. I don't know. If I play better or worse in bad weather, it's just a matter of guys, it's guys making plays, guys giving me the opportunity to get the ball off, and receivers getting open.
With the way that defense has struggled at times this year and the way the running game has struggled, it's appeared that the team will go as far as you can carry them. Have you felt that way at all? Do you feel that burden going into the playoffs?
No, I think that's the point of a team. It's everybody doing their jobs, everybody leaning on each other, and expecting the guy next to you to do their job, and that's the way we feel. Our defense is playing outstanding lately. Hopefully, they continue to do that offensively. The run game is coming around. We're running better, in the last half of the season than we were at the beginning. Receivers are back healthy and doing a good job getting open. So it's going to be, I think, when we play our best, it's when all three phases of the game, offense, defense, special teams, are all playing at a high level and doing their jobs.
Given that, Eli, given that even, can you tell me? What do you think of the fact that now you're better at fourth quarter touchdowns than anyone else who has ever played this game, passing County United and some guy named Lee?
I've never really thought much about it. I think it's kind of one of those stats that no one even knew existed until all of a sudden it came up this year. So it wasn't something I was going for. Unfortunately, we've been down some in the fourth quarter where we've had to score points and score touchdowns. So that's what's led to having so many touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So again, not happy to be mentioned. With those two quarterbacks, but besides that, not giving it much thought from here on.
I'm not fond of this introspective stuff, but can you just gauge how your confidence level is different this year as opposed to previous playoff years personally? And by this, I mean, can you do that before you actually measure your butterflies on Sunday morning?
Yeah, I think quarterback, players, anybody, I think their confidence level is always high. You always go into a game feeling good about what's going to happen, what's going to expect, and a lot of it's having confidence in the players around you, and that's what we have. I'm confident with the receivers we have out there, with our offensive line, with our running backs. Everybody knows their assignment, and they're going to be able to go out there and play at a high level and let me play at my best also. We have a few of the same players that are on that team. That's probably all we want to go to at that point. I think we have a lot of guys on this team that weren't there. We have a lot of guys on this team that haven't been to the playoffs before. So I think we gotta understand it's a new year. We have different players. It's a new team. It's a new environment. We got to go out there and not trying to. We know what's ahead of us. We can't start looking too far ahead. We got Atlanta this week. We're just getting ready to play this game and go out there and have a great game plan and play our best.
Eli, what makes Victor?
I don't know what makes him unique. I know what makes him a good player is that he's got a great feel for what's going on around him. Kind of where defenders are, what coverages are. He has good, can read coverages very quickly and understand, what his route's gonna look like, what kind of what kind of moves, how has he set up his route to get open, and that's where it starts, and then he does a great job after he catches the ball, making guys miss, making big plays, and he's got a knack for making making a little catch or a play that is designed to get 4 or 5, 6 yards and turn it into 60 and 70-yard plays. And I think it's he's not trying to do that every time. It's just the way he plays. It just turns out that way.
The defense is defending him much differently than
Some teams are trying to double him, and bracket him with a DB and a safety. So some teams are going to play him a little differently. I don't know if that's what Atlanta's do, if that's what they'll do, if that's their style. But some teams have been making sure they're keeping 2 guys over his head. Yeah, I think Coach Coughlin has a good feel of this team, a good understanding that. It seems like when we are up against the wall and things are turning bad, that seems to bring out our best play and having to kind of how to get our best football and get us ready to play that next week. And so he's done a good job, and the players have done a good job responding to that and understanding the circumstances and going out there and playing hard each week.
Eli, 2 more questions for Eli.
Eli, what is it about your personality or background that makes you personally good in crunch time? Have you run up around the game? Is it your demeanor?
I don't know. I think I think it's just being competitive, wanting to win. I think it's also the teammates, our teammates, just understanding the circumstances, being smart, understanding, hey, this is crunch time. We needed plays here. We need to play our best football at this point. And so I think it's just the level of play of the whole offensive unit all of a sudden steps up in the crunch time, and guys just seem to make plays. I think that's what I answered.
Eli, was the first time you realized you could develop great chemistry with Victor? Was it last year, over the summer? Was it the Philadelphia game? When was that first point?
I think obviously our work over the summer was helpful. Just I think I knew that he had a good feel, a good understanding for what was going on. Just a smart guy, and I think obviously the Philadelphia game showed that he had big play potential, and run after catch, jumping up and going over guys and catching it, those type of things. And that's a lot of times you learn your most about your receivers in game time situations. You can see practice, you can get better, you can work on technique and those things, but all of a sudden you kind of see someone's true colors in the crunch time, in the game, when they got to make plays, they got to make the tough catch, they're going to get hit, they got to all of a sudden something you practiced all week, the defense does something differently. How do they react and adjust? And I think that's where Victor's done a great job and growing up and has a great feel for what he's going to do.
Last question. Eli, usually this time of year, defense and running game is what everyone focused on into the playoffs. This year's been special, different because of how the offense has set all kinds of records. Do you expect maybe these playoffs might be a little more offense-oriented? Is that something to look forward to? And do you think that's something that's just going to continue in the NFL, just throughout?
Well, I think that's always the mindset. I hope that we can run the ball this week. I hope our defense can play great football. That's what you want to do. Especially when you get late in the season, it's cold. If it's nasty weather like they say it might have, that's what you want to be able to have. Are we going to have to throw the ball successfully? Yes, but you got to just understand the circumstances, and we got to find ways to find completions, be smart with the ball, and when there's opportunities to hit a couple big plays, hopefully we can do that. Thank you.